Hey everyone, it's Joel. I just want to give a little caveat before this episode, and also there's another caveat I put on this episode, but it wasn't for the public release, it was just for the Patreon. But that caveat still stands, and so does this one. Also, I don't know if caveat's the right word to use here, but you know what? I don't want to re-record this, so fuck it, that's what we're going with. I just wanted to put this here. Normally, these are Patreon exclusive, so, lucky for you. We're feeling a little generous right now. Also, we're trying to show you what you're missing out on if you're not a patron. So what you're about to hear is an after talk show. Lots of shows have them. We do too. It's called the Oddity Post Show. We do this after every single time we record an episode. We talk about the episode, what happened in it, what we liked, how the players hated the things that I did, but and like a fun hate, and then a little bit inspiration here and there, and then just a lot of dumb bullshit. So we're putting this one out since Arc 1 just ended, the mystery of the lost keys, and you get to hear us talk about it, do little teases for what's coming, lots of stuff. And if you want to hear the first 5 episodes of Oddity Post Show, go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Oddity Roadshow. Become a friend of the trail level. There's tons of great stuff over there. If you want episodes early, you can $10. You can get it. If you want us to send you little postcards and swag bags and have me say your name at the end of the episodes, we got the Eternal Light level we just dropped for $20. So like I said, this is a little teaser. Well, not teaser. You get the full episode, but this is Oddity Post Show episode 6. Go check out our Patreon if you want to hear the first 5 and then all the ones after this. So just, thank you for listening and supporting the show. And for everyone that's already a patron, you're amazing. Thank you so much. For everyone else, you get one free. First taste free, and that's it. So here, listen to me say something else right after this about the post show that's not the post show itself, and then get ready for the post show. Hey everyone, I just want to say before this episode of Oddity Post Show starts, we did, after we recorded this episode, we had decided that there was 2 NPCs that we had in this episode that we wanted to take out because we were going to put them in Arc 2 to have a better focus. I do believe we talk about Tamara Douglas and Agent Funk in this episode. There were 2 NPCs that were created by fans of the show that donated on Indiegogo, and we kind of introduced them at the end of the episode of episode 6. And then later, after I was kind of going back and listening, I realized, I wanted to give them a way better introduction and more of a focus than just kind of tagging them on at the end of an arc that you just see them come in and then leave. They will come in Arc 2. So if you hear us talk about Tamara Douglas, submitted by Chase, and then Agent Funk submitted by, I believe, Nick from the Indiegogo, they're just not in this episode. We took them out. I edit a lot of these things down. So that, if you're just like, oh, I didn't hear that, did I miss some of the show? That's it. They'll come back in Arc 2, and, we just, especially because they were major NPCs that were donated through Indiegogo, I really wanted just to make sure they had a good entrance. Cobb and Tabir Sugarfoot, 2 of the NPCs we've had in so far, definitely steal the show when they come in, and I'm very happy that we waited till later because Funk and Tamara are huge in Arc 2, and I think it's a way better way to introduce them. So if you hear us talking about them, that's just what happens whenever you edit a product. Stuff gets cut and things get moved. Anyways, here's the episode. Thanks. And welcome back to Oddity Post Show, the only show we're recording right now at this time. Later we'll record another one, and I could say a different title, but that's what we're here for.
It'll be called Oddity Pre-Post Show.
Oddity Pre-Post Show. It's me. I don't know. I got pretty high before we did this one, so.
We got nice little snackies.
My little snackies.
These aren't as loud as the cookie I have.
Yeah. Real quick, do we have any pitches for episode 6 title?
Friend of the Trail.
Friend of the Trail's good.
Just Zane.
Zane's an option. I can tell you now, because the people have already seen this off of the tracks. I didn't tell you that song that we listened to, the 6.5 minute track from People Need Golds. Shout out People Need Golds for all the music they've been making of us. That's Zane's track.
Van Mouth.
Ugh. No pickles.
No pickles is nice. I like that.
Like
It's
no
nice and
pickle.
cryptic. Means nothing until the very end, which I like. I like that in a show, in an episode name.
I do like Friend of the Trail, though. I think it's a good setup for the final episode of the first arc leading into... Yeah. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Yeah. So, y'all like... What'd you think?
It's fun.
Enthusiastic. I like it.
It's not fun for Marlon. It's fun for me. I like the
Yeah, you
NPCs
did it
and the
okay.
story.
It was okay.
I thought it was fun. I'm
wasn't
just I'm really tired in real life. I'm like exhausted.
Yeah, we recorded
Got up early.
back to back.
It was an episode of our program. That's good.
Wow, I feel great. I feel great about this feedback. I'm happy with how much time I put into
No, not at all.
planning.
I'm just tired. I'm just really.
No, I thought that was good. I thought that was
You're jamming all the time.
that's a really gross villain cap. Like that's a really horrible set, like end scene where the Worm Queen shows up and slides through the.
Yeah. I told them this off mic. I had prepared a scene where Wesley was making out with the Queen Worm.
No.
Yeah. It was just like.
Thankfully, like a bunch of guys from standards and practices came in and were like, "You cannot release this." And we're like, "No one pays for this." Like, still,
I wanted to
from
show
the internet.
they love each other.
We got that. You communicated
the
that
worm was
without make out.
sentient.
Yeah.
What was her name? This Queen Worm.
Yeah, she's just like a worm.
What was her personality like?
She
like funny and flirty, or like
she's
mean?
like a little silly, little funny, little flirty. She definitely, it's kind of like a little bit of dark sense of humor, but a lot of it she doesn't use like, it wasn't like straight speech. It's like, like kind of just like the way that she moves. She kind of get the intention of what she needs. But here's the thing: Wesley was not mind controlled by her at all. Like he did get like powers from her and strengthened from her. But
he loved that fucking worm.
And
is
she
what I'm
loved
getting.
him too. It was appropriate. There was, and once again, if we're telling this from Wesley's point of view, y'all are the villains.
It was a consensual, age-appropriate relationship between some guy and a psychic worm.
Marlon is the villain of many people's lives, so he doesn't give a shit.
I had a question about her regenerating his flesh.
Yeah.
So worms like eat dirt and poop out dirt. So she was pooping out his flesh.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So what the worms were? So
I just wanted to clarify.
So she was just kind of like injecting him with some of her good juice, because these worms can regenerate. So she's like the main one that all of these tests and shit were done for. So she's kind of like giving him these powers, but she's like, but she has to like crawl through them and give him that good.
It has to. Most things have to work in the creepiest and most disgusting way possible. Otherwise.
And like interlacing throughout like the stab wounds to just kind of like heal them. That is, just for a little fun fact, that's also how they do sex stuff with each other. It's her just going in and out of his body.
No one wanted to ask that.
Well, I wanted to tell it to you, so.
Listeners, if you'd like Joel to not do that, go back in time.
Yeah, go back in time.
What was your inspiration for her?
I just really want it to be a thing where I've
always wanted to be in love.
I was about to say, I just really like worms.
I like the.
It's not a big deal. Why are you asking?
Next question.
You want it all to be love stories.
I want it to all be love stories because I like I do like the Scooby-Doo style of like, it's not always like necessarily, well, I mean, in Scooby-Doo it's not a monster, it's always
capitalism.
It's always capitalism, which is also going to be a reoccurring theme. But like, so I never want, like, it's never going to be
Spoiler alert, it's bad.
Like the monsters are never just gonna be like, oh, I'm an evil monster because I'm an evil monster. Like the idea behind this is like this was the worm that his like father and grandfather had been using, and like
Had they also been fucking her?
no. See, this is the thing. They didn't want that, and that's also why he killed his dad. The grandfather already died, but he did kill his dad because his dad found out about the relationship, did try to stop him. He was
No
like,
son of mine.
and he was like, this is fucked on so many levels. I'm gonna kill, like, we're gonna like this is done, we're gonna kill it.
Who made you a little dress for the worm? It doesn't have arms. It doesn't make sense.
But the thing is, like, the grandfather founded the factory. It wasn't worm-based to start, but through hard times.
But like a lot of businesses in the mid-20th century, the worm economy
Well,
really
see, what
just...
happened is, because, like, you know, it's been around for a long time. Grandfather's old enough to where it was, like, back in the day when, like, they were still very loose, i.e. no laws on factory labors, really. And then over time, and people wanting rights and for children to stop working in factories and stuff like that, like, they had to find new ways to shave off money for the shareholders. Like, so
That's when the worms became their money.
Yes, the worms are their money. So are the bones, some would say. No, so the ideas behind, so the idea started with the grandfather during that, finding alternative ways of doing this in a supernatural world. So I know that, like, worms don't make that, but blah, blah, blah. They were crossbred, science, yada, yada, yada. Father was just all about capitalism. He was the one that was, like, down for, like, expanding everything. But while this happened, you know, this worm was their captive. And Wesley Wesley Orion Reginald Masterson it's Worm. If you didn't pick that up every time I said it, it is just Worm the Third. So Wesley, 30, grew up in like the Masterson estate that's on these grounds, and it was already, by this point, they were already like tycoons. They were super rich. He grew up in a lot like third generation rich kid, so like he was very sheltered and weird and didn't have a lot of like outside friends. And then he just like befriended this worm. It wasn't love at first. It was just like a friendship. They both felt like they were captives in this family. They really like, you know, had to serve a purpose. He was being like bred to take over the company. Raised, that's whatever.
She was also being bred for the company.
That's different.
She was being bred for the company. He was being raised to take over it. So they just found, like, you know, they found each other.
Did they have any children?
No, because that's not how it works.
What is
fuck
bro?
around.
I mean,
Come
what?
on. Yeah, wow.
I'm just saying that they didn't have. I guess you could, in a way, he kind of thought all of the infected people were his children. You could say.
Gross.
Yeah, but also like, but it's for like when you make children to eat or serve you.
For the
No,
environment.
sorry, to eat them or serve you. They're not. Yeah.
For the environment, the creepy factory. Did you have any particular inspirations from video games or movies or anything?
Nah, just
That's about Silent Hill, just like general.
Just a lot of them. There's just always spooky factors. I figure that's a good, easy one to start.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo. I wanted it to be.
That's a nice place for something to be that could be big and
Yeah,
like,
I
like
wanted
not
to.
like
I wanted
everyone
it to
knows
be
that
in
the
North
big hole full of
Georgia,
worms.
so we could kind of start close to where we all, because we all, you know, we're all in Atlanta. So I wanted the whole show to be like set mostly in the southeast. Y'all can like go outside of it, obviously, but like that's what I wanted to start at. So that's why I did Dalton, smaller town. I knew enough, you know, some about it, and then that's why I kind of picked like the worms as the creature because of there's like mountains and shit around. There's a bunch of like worms, and then
Wait.
yeah, that's
No.
What?
You don't
There
get
are
to-
worms in the mountain.
Yes, there are worms in the field. There are worms here on the lowlands.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that is just that is a thing. There's an abundance on them. There's worms and shit like that, and I know it wasn't like only that. I'm just saying, like,
I
talked about this in other post shows. Is that I had come up with these worms for a one shot I did forever ago. That's where Corinne, Hot Jimmy, and Alfred came from. And I always planned to kill all of them but Alfred, because in the one shot I did, all of them died. So I told all of them, friends of the show, Troy, who, if y'all listen to Critical Bits, that's Odette, David, who was in Spider Day 2 and 3 as the liver.
Katana Jerry.
Jerry, yeah, he's Katana Jerry, and then Dylan, who made all of the like exit the Jerryverse, enter the Worryverse, all those. That's who they were. I hit them up, being like, hey, I want to make these NPCs, y'all cool with it? And they're like, cool, you gonna kill them again? I was like, yeah, Morris, for sure. I'm gonna kill them again. So I always had, like, they were always gonna die, but then I wanted Alfred to stay alive because they have the ghost. So they can be, you know, Alfred can talk to the ghost friends.
Which is such an uplifting tale.
It is. Here's the thing, though. Just because love stories are good, that doesn't mean they're going to end happy.
Every love story ends in a tragedy.
Yeah. Someone dies first. It's terrible. But yeah, so
they could die. People die together.
They
sometimes.
could die together.
But then their friends are sad.
Yeah.
No, because only if their friends have to unpack the complicated logistics of their estate planning.
Mm-hmm.
Is this an ad? Are you segueing into some kind of a service?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Paul Byron.
Do you have an estate you need to be settled? I'll take it.
Come on and buy it. I'll just pick up all your stuff. Take it with me.
Last post show, Paul was trying to talk to us about banks and investing, and now he's talking to us about estate planning.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I mean, it just seems like something the podcasting community has a lot of need for.
They're clamoring for it. Oh,
like, tell us what to do with all of our excess income, Paul.
That was the
Don't
whole thing.
get
So I
sick.
wanted it to be based off, they just loved each other, and he wanted to give his queen, a little kingdom.
I don't know how Cobb expected Marlon to transport that thing, like, logistically.
He just wanted it. It's not. You can ask for stuff. You don't know how it's gonna get to you. You can just ask for it.
God, I wish someone would bring me a milkshake and they don't have any cups. They come with it in their hands. I wouldn't be like super impressed. I wouldn't be like excited about that, but I'd be pretty impressed if they brought me a milkshake.
I would be impressed. I would be upset and impressed.
I wouldn't
at the same
necessarily
time.
not drinking the milkshake.
I was about to say, would you drink it out of their hands?
No.
Who would it be that you would drink it out of their hands? What if your wife?
No, my wife does no, absolutely not. Like
You're like, my wife has filthy hands.
it's like, yeah, there's iron filings and shit in her hands. Like she's a sculptor and shit. She just I don't want to drink out of her hands.
Would you let anybody baby bird you?
Absolutely
God.
not. Absolutely.
No.
I was wondering how long it was going to take for us to get to this content.
Would you?
Exactly.
I mean, like, if it's life or death, for sure.
Oh, that doesn't count. Anything if it's life or
Absolutely
death.
not.
I would for life or death, if I was starving, but just like casual.
Man, you're going to have to get really hard the life or death. Or like, wow, here, the calories that you need to live are... This is how you have to get them. I can't bring you
I mean,
the
that's
thing
what they
I've
did
eaten.
before food processors. Someone had to chew your food for you.
Yeah, I went down to the Smoothie King and had a guy make me a smoothie by just spitting a bunch of spirulina into my mouth.
I've not been baby bird, but I have baby birded.
What?
Yeah, to a human. It was a funny joke.
Talk more.
That's gross.
It's somebody that was just like, you should let me feed you baby bird. And they're like, that's gross, but okay. And I did it. And then they're like, that's gross. I was
Do
like,
I
yeah.
know them?
I don't think you've met them. It's someone I
That's
used to
good.
do a lot of drugs with when I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah, I hope so.
It was funny.
Yeah,
It was
I don't
gross.
think
I'm
as
not
an
saying
adult-
like I.
So nasty.
Yeah, I just did it because it was funny.
Was it?
Yeah, I told you. But also gross.
But Shannon and I aren't really laughing.
I didn't. You had to
I
be
laughed.
there.
I don't know that I did.
Was it related to were you watching like a nature documentary or having
Probably
a
not,
conversation
honestly.
about
Who
birds?
knows?
You just like had this.
I don't
impulse?
remember the idea behind. Usually, if you get an idea in your head, you have to do it immediately. Otherwise, you're
Listeners,
gonna die.
if you are the person that Joel baby birded, please email us and let us know how formative of an experience it was for you. Because apparently Joel didn't really register that hard.
We're going to get a lot of weird emails from people claiming.
I'll say,
It was
birded
me,
by
and
Joel.
I want to do it again.
I'll say that like.
I'm Spartacus.
It was formative, and I know I don't want to baby bird people. I didn't really get anything out of it. It was kind of weird. It was funny.
What
though.
food was it?
I don't really remember that either. Like this was such like an instinct. Let me do this goof, and we did it.
Your
and then
instincts have
moved
got to
on.
be recalibrated, my friend. That's gonna get you
I think
killed.
they have since then.
Yeah. I think this was like I said. I think I was pretty sure. Yeah, because at the house I was at, I was like 19 or 20 there. So like still like very young and just like outrageously depressed and did not know anything about depression.
But why, Joel? We only just celebrated your 25th birthday.
Wait, what?
Nothing. It's
What is the joke you're making?
that you're very young and vibrant. Jesus
No,
Christ, I'm being.
I'm 35. When I was 20, you would not.
Yeah, I
you
know.
wouldn't like
we
me
already
when I was
talked.
25. 'cause
That's
I
my
was a
secret,
bad
Captain.
person.
I'm
Yeah.
always 25.
I don't think we would be friends if I met
Well,
you. when you were
I don't think. I
25.
think I was like on the very start of the. I was on the start of becoming a good person and tail end of being a bad person because I had had a heart attack and that
So
changed my
was-
mind on a lot of things.
So have a heart attack and baby bird someone, and that'll either end
I
your
baby
bad
birded
streak.
first, way before the heart attack.
Is that what brought it on?
No,
Don't baby
no.
You
bird
got so
people.
excited.
Yeah, I
Get
got
so hyped
as
up.
excited about as Tiberius Sugarfoot stabbing Ron.
Here's something. They pay us for this.
Who?
What about, did anything happen during the episode that we liked?
They want to know about Joel baby.
It's a weird
people.
parasocial thing. They probably are more interested.
Let us know if you liked the baby bird talk. I don't have any more to give you.
I was surprised that the van was organic. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's gross.
Yeah.
It's a normal van, y'all.
I'm trying to give you a compliment.
I was excited because like I knew that y'all hadn't been with the van for like since the first episode, but like it's the overarching thing. But yeah, I was very excited to get to show more stuff about the van and the spookiness behind
Lights
it.
up the compass when you feed it a magic
Yeah,
thing
I
off
like
the.
that. That's fun.
It goes ding, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Like, I've played a video game before.
Marlon's playing video games.
I've seen a character development screen. You're about to give me points.
Has Jamie played video games?
Yeah, like some. Like
Jamie mentioned playing
Kirby?
Playing.
What'd you say?
You play Kirby?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Jamie mentioned playing like old school
GoldenEye.
N64 games.
No, Ocarina of Time has got you some quality horse riding action.
Jamie's definitely played Zelda. She's played Animal Crossing.
Kentucky Derby 2001.
Anything
Kentucky
with cute
Derby
animals.
2002.
She played like those, I don't know, those terrible cheaply made games where it's like, get to pet a horse. Like, I don't, you know what I'm talking about.
Like Barbie's like dream
Well, not even the
stables.
branded ones. Just like, there are ones that can just be like, horse farm.
Yeah.
And you just, yeah.
So I've played pets, cats, and stuff, but those are fairly well made. It wasn't just like a little shitty hand comes up and like touches.
I played those games too. Allison.
I was gonna say Allison has that.
Marlon might have. I don't know.
Yeah. I do like I will let y'all talk about it more next episode, but I'm happy that everyone like the demon stuff is coming out. Who knows if
Well, it's because the NPCs were like, "Oh, I smell it on you," and I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
I'm poorly
you
trying
call
to hide.
Your house was your living quarters. That was delightfully vague.
Where did we say he like is hiding somewhere in the school or lives in his car or something, like a shitty car, or like in the janitor, like the what do you call it? The boiler room.
That was it. Like that you would like like you were like crashing at the school and. Yeah.
I like give the janitor $20 to
That's,
not rat me out to live in the boiler room.
What's his name in Riverdale did that? Jughead.
Yeah.
Jughead lived in like the janitor closet.
That's essentially where Marlon is living.
Juggy.
Which isn't that shady, but it's sad.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
It's pretty shady of the janitor to just accept $20 for that.
He's got his own problems. Oh yeah,
we have a scale. We have a
little
thing we
himbo
do.
scale.
And those of you that remember, this is the Brendan Fraser scale, which goes from 10 to 1, most himbo to least. George of the Jungle, Dudley Do-Right, Bedazzled, Blast from the Past, Monkey Bone, Airheads, Encino Man, The Mummy, Doom Patrol, and of course the least himbo movie in the oeuvre, Crash.
I think I'm gonna
Thoughts?
go 4 on this one.
That's fair.
Because you're very Paul is very learned and very smart, and Ron is a early 20-year-old that only went to a 2-year technical college and does have the knowledge of a like 40-year-old.
Let's leave that out, would we?
However, I'm just saying a lot of Paul came through as in like I know things, which
Spoiler alert, folks. I don't know anything,
Well,
but Ron knows even less.
Gotta give
you
a 4 for the Marx comment.
That's fair.
I don't think it's bad if you had established that Ron was a Marxist. It's not like people who are working class people who don't read Marx and stuff, but it felt
No,
that
was
was Paul's like bursting out like the bird.
I'm crawling out like a worm out of a frozen or electrocuted guy.
I'm going to go 5 because, yes, Ron started talking about very high-level economic things.
Not that
but
smart,
he also, anytime someone tried to do something, he said, "Hey, now, cut that out," which I thought was like a 10.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's going to come out at about a 4.33, I believe, which is a real drop off from yesterday, from last episode 7.5. So I'm going to have to put in a little more work on that. Apologies, folks.
You just have to stop letting yourself know as many things.
No, I'm going to get a chisel and
Remember,
put a
I had to
divot
do
in my
it as
chin.
a professional film critic pretended I didn't know movies.
That's
And I would purposely be like, she wouldn't know
That's
that.
fair.
She wouldn't know what a graboid is.
And all right, fine. Look, I will go get my chisel. I'll do the thing that makes me sound taller, the special surgery.
Look how you're already pretty tall. So it's like,
I think how tall I'm gonna sound.
Yeah.
You can just get further and further away from the mic, and then it'll sound.
What's that?
you sound so tall.
He's so tall you can hardly hear him.
Cobb is gonna pay. How much would Cobb pay for his body? What are we thinking? Like
Money's meaningless to him. Whatever number Ron needs to eventually be set to.
a couple million?
Money's fake.
Well, I beg to differ. And our Patreons also beg to differ because we appreciate their money.
No, it's just Cobb has enough connections and weird random things that like he can get what he needs at any point in time. And so if he needs to say a couple million, he can be like, sure, a couple million.
I want that man's body.
Yeah.
I know Cobb is not a vampire, but it's like a vampire who's like, I've just accumulated wealth for thousands of years. I can do whatever I want.
I did figure out how vampires work in this world because I wanted to do a different vampire.
How do they work?
You gotta find out.
They
Marlon
love
would
it in
know?
the sun, and they eat garlic all the time, and they only appear in the mirror.
Yeah, they love kick flipping in the mirror.
That would be actually really scary if it was an enemy that only showed up in the mirror.
Vampires in this world, they can walk in the sun, and they also. You would know this. They can like walk in the sun. They don't have as many of like the weaknesses is like because they lied to people and just told them all those things. Like, yeah, vampires can't come to your house.
Garlic will hurt me.
Yeah. Oh, obviously.
Ow.
So a lot of that stuff, they can be killed. Like a lot of other things, but it's not necessarily like if you shoot like. They did start trying to tell people you can only get stabbed in the heart with like wood, but honestly, if you stab them with anything in the heart, they're gonna die.
Silver bullets, werewolves, anything else.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things, but a lot of like the weaknesses and like weird things. That's just rumors started by vampires to make people kind of cool it.
Vampire disinformation campaign.
Yeah.
Vampire psyops.
Yeah, they try to like make because that way they can prove they're not vampires to people.
Garlic bread. I'm fine.
No vampire would ever stand the garlic, and it's not like they love it. It's not like some vampires might like garlic, but it's they're not like Italians. They can't they.
You heard it here, folks. There's no Italian vampires.
There can be. I don't think if you're an Italian vampire, you love garlic, but not because you're a vampire. It's because you're Italian. That's in your blood.
Your blood, which is all made up of olive oil and marinara and. Mamma mia.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Here I go again.
I'm really I'm waiting to see what happens next. Where like we just had this crazy adventure where we all almost died. We do not understand the mechanics of ourselves at all, but we're going forward.
Yeah.
Gonna see what's next. And there's a creepy man with golden eyes or person thing. I guess you can say
Creature?
man. Shroud, the black shroud.
It was suggested it was eating a corpse, right?
Yeah.
Who
That
eats
had golden
corpses?
eyes.
Well, I mean, almost everyone, but of what? I guess it's the
I assumed it was human based on the way he said cadaver,
cadaver does fall to human,
but
that's fair.
Joel's just giving us shifty eyes and not giving us any information.
I know as much as y'all. I'm on the same show.
Oh God.
No, we've reached the point where Joel's no longer in any way trustworthy. So,
Yeah, I like I said, for like critical bits, I did have a lot of stuff like planned, like graded plot points I built to. This I have like a lot more. It's not like I don't have it like super planned up, but like there's a lot more like lore and stuff that I've like wrote for this show before that like I didn't do for critical bits because this one like I need to know like the full overarching story and what's going on and what's happening with this normal van and this man.
How much time has passed since the podcast started? Like 3 days?
Yeah, pretty much.
Barely even.
That's
Maybe.
It was like Friday that y'all did all that shit, and then pretty much you slept probably like Saturday and Sunday. We could say like you're probably hitting the road like Monday morning or whatever, or Monday night or something.
And we just told our parents Jamie told her parents oh, we had to get the van fixed, but we're gonna leave in a couple days. I'm gonna go take a nap.
I will say, as somebody who lived too tumultuous of a terrible lifestyle at this age, like it makes sense to just not question things and go forward. Like I should have been like, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing all these things we're doing. It's like, nah, you just gotta keep going, and eventually it will get better, right? And then you crash, but we'll get to there later.
Just get the money runs out, then you
That's
just
what I'm saying.
scam
Like
people.
y'all are still like relatively like younger. You're still like all early 20s. I think Marlon's the oldest, and what we say like you're still probably
23.
Yeah, still probably like 23 or
Something like
4.
that.
So like
I'm 20.
still got pretty dumb brains out there. And this isn't like rude to any 20-year-olds, but like.
But you're dumb, and you'll find out that's true later.
Yeah, I remember every time somebody whenever they found out, they're like, "Oh, you're like 24, you're such a little baby," and they're like 28, and I was like, "Go fuck yourself." And then I was like, "Oh man, you are not wrong." My brain, I can process so many more things like after my late 20s that I couldn't even fathom understanding or like doing any of this shit for. So,
But is it all just trauma? Is that really what happens to
No,
us?
it's-
You
it's
get
It's
older?
trauma and your brain is still
it's trauma
forming at that
and
point.
growing. It's both.
Your brain
And
stops forming at
experiences.
25, right?
Or
27?
what has formed all of its major centers and clusters.
Yeah, it's not like at me where it starts going to shit, but it's just like, all right, we got everything like at like the full working capacity. We got this stuff.
These are the parts you're intended
Yeah.
to use to operate the brain, as it were.
Well, I like
Not
the
a
idea.
desperately
I like the
underfunded
idea that
empathy
all
center.
of you are like, there's a lot of questions you should be asking, but are just like, all right, let's move on.
We tried to.
No, I'm not
You give
saying
us the most
no,
off-putting
I'm not
NPCs.
saying like y'all as like the players. I'm saying like your characters are just like trying to move forward. Also, like in real life, you don't get to just ask them like, why am I like this? They're like, I don't know, you're probably depressed. You're like, I need more answers. Like, cool, I
me
have
too.
fucking none. Like you're depressed. You got to find your own
You're
way
a
to deal with
depressed
it.
werewolf.
Yeah. So that's
Sorry,
the thing.
kid.
It's not that like I'm saying y'all are asking
Yeah, I'll say
questions,
I'm
but
trying
like,
to do better
but
about
also
that.
you're not gonna get like I want it to be more like creative problem solving than just flat out asking questions. Because like if you just ask, it's not fun for y'all to get info done from NPCs. We want to see it throughout. But I'm saying you are doing a good job like investigating and asking
sometimes-
questions. But I'm just saying you're not gonna get the answer in episode 6. I mean like what am I? Okay, well here it all is. Like
Tell
yeah.
the audience.
Also, it is like for supernatural stuff. There's thousands of ways to like transform and have weird stuff like that and other things, demon packs and curses, to where it wouldn't just be that he would be like, oh, I know this immediately.
If the cassowary was missing from the zoo, I feel like that would be big news, right?
Wait, why?
I'm wondering if like the cassowary still exists or if it's inside
if a
me.
giant killer bird escaped from the Atlanta Zoo, I feel like we would know about it from Twitter.
Yeah. So I was just wondering if like if there's a physical bird that has gone missing and is inside of me.
Or it's a
Or
bird
if
spirit
yeah.
or some sort of entity.
Yeah, there's not really like any news on it.
Okay.
Wait, you need to call the zoo and investigate to see if they're covering it up.
I could text my friends who worked at the zoo with me when I worked there.
You can do that, yeah, later in the show if you want to.
Make a little
I'm just
note.
trying to figure out what happened.
Because you've pretty much, ever since anything happened with Jay, you've not really like known what's going on, and you've been losing time. It wasn't until this adventure, you have put together though. It's not whenever your friends. It's whenever Jamie directly is in danger. Your friends don't. It doesn't really matter
Doesn't
like
count.
it didn't come out whenever your friends were being attacked because you're on the other side of the room and you were very safe and nothing was like an immediate threat to your life. And the other times that the bird did come out was whenever you were gonna die.
I was curious why Marlon didn't summon the demon when his death was imminent.
The honest answer is I don't want to overplay it
Okay.
in the podcast. I thought about it. And it's not like I couldn't have done it, but
I think it's also fair that the last time you did it, 6 guys got murdered in
guys
front
got
of your very
murdered.
Yeah,
eyes.
because we
and
kind of
that's a
said that
lot.
like, it takes a little cool down time and like
I did think about it, but I'm like, also I don't want every time I have a problem.
yeah.
It's kind of
You will end up owing that
Your
guy some
demon
kind of. That's gonna
comes
be
out
weird.
and
pretty
solves
awesome too, because like Marlon would know that like Marlon would know it has like a recharge time, and like in game time, like you use the lighter on those guys like maybe an hour and a half ago. Like,
Marlon can
good
see
point,
the little.
but I like
Marlon can see the little
No,
clock
I was
ticking back
I was
up,
curious
filling
and
the
I was
recharge.
wondering if it was going to happen.
yeah, but no, it's just like a little. You need a little recharge time on the imp.
I also don't want the imp to be all full of himself or not show up.
And Ron's just got front immunity.
And he's got back immunity too, but he's just
Not as much.
because what it is, it's just and then like the mechanic thing is just he has just 2 armor, so things can hurt him that do more than 2
okay.
damage. But all the things are like scalpels and knives and just like like it's just kind of doing nothing to him.
What brand overalls does Ron wear that they held on after all that?
Oh no, they
stabbing?
were gone. He got to pick up a new pair.
Black Bar brand overalls.
For all
They cover your bits.
For all you Ron heads out there, he was very scantily clad by the end of this arc.
Interesting fan art.
But doing all like the Austin Powers-y kind of nudity is always obscured by an amusing piece of lab equipment or some,
I did appreciate the specification that Jamie's clothes were tattered, but she was,
Still modest.
not
Yeah,
just-
I did not want people to like get weird about
Episode
it.
6, tits out.
Episode 6, bird titties. What's that?
strutting around indeed.
Strutting around. I thought it was fun. Like I said, I'm excited that we got to introduce more of the NPCs because we got old Tiberius Sugarfoot, which I had a different voice for him, but then I was like, no, I'll do that later. Yeah.
Does that hurt your throat to do?
That was not bad, actually. Honestly.
Kind of hurts my throat to hear it.
Yeah, the like squealing and the holding the squeals.
No, it was.
I don't like that.
It weirdly came natural, but I do like it.
That's something inside of you.
I don't know. You should.
Bring back Cobb.
It's like a weird. It's like I was thinking like overly creepy, horny Mickey Mouse is what I was.
Oh my
kinda
God.
thinking
I mean, that's
about.
what he sounds like.
That's so much worse.
Yeah, that's what
That made it worse.
That's what my inspiration for Tiberius Sugarfoot was.
Now does Neil never pick us up?
I don't.
That's the thing. Everything else
Bob
was
Iger, you know that new sound you were looking for? They're like, that's just a man explaining flesh poorly and grossly. And they're like, oh, okay, I guess we'll
6
pass
whole
then.
episodes of fucking worms.
Yeah. Paul, I want you to know, you keep talking to me like you're just like, we could have had it where we could. You know it's just going to get worse, right? And if you keep telling me the things you want, I'm going to find
werewolf.
I'm
That's
going to
the only
find
thing I
out
keep
versions of
saying.
them
It's
to
the
make them
analog
even
of-
worse and creepier.
Look, I stick
The
to
next, what we're going into next is so every arc will be like a different like mystery, and then we're gonna do little like interlude episodes. But what those are gonna be, there'll be like more standalones. Most of those are gonna be guest episodes because I already have the first 3 planned out, and they're all guest episodes. So the next one, episode 7, is I'm gonna call all arcs mysteries, like the mystery of playing. But then the interlude episodes are gonna be called tales because it's a little fun. So the next one is the tale of the definitely haunted house, starring our friend JoJo. But then the second arc, Jack Packard. Friend of the show, who's also going to be guesting, he was the person that donated at the unicorn level. So he actually has been.
Shout out to Jack.
Yeah,
Thank you, Jack.
Working on I've been working with him on the monster for Arc 2, and it's very terrifying and.
Jack, just remember, whatever you do, we have to play.
Yeah, no, it does. He already told me all the things. So, and then he's gonna be in the. He's gonna be in
Allison
the.
just frowned.
He's gonna be in the Arc 2, but it's. Not. Paul told me he doesn't want things going in and out of people's mouths and bodies, so we're not doing that.
I mean,
that's fair to have as a hard line.
It's not that hard of a line. It's fine.
Did that happen after the
Well,
worm?
he was saying that he wanted, like, he was just asking if the next thing will not just be the thing, which I wouldn't do because I'm not a hack, but it is gonna be terrifying. I'm just saying, if you do the the same thing twice, what are you doing?
I hope we can get Jack to fly down and record in person.
I don't know if he'll fly down, but he's definitely gonna record with
This
us.
would be
Though.
fun to record in person.
But yeah. So the next monster is legit terrifying and gonna be creepy as fuck, but in a different way. And I'm excited for
Is
it.
it an NPC with a normal voice and no horrifying characteristics?
Oh God, no! I already thought. So I have these little sound pads that I can pre-program.
Not cool.
And I've already thought of things that I'm gonna use for the actual recording to fuck with y'all live instead of just doing it in post.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
It's cool, but I'm scared.
I'm excited for it. Marlon would be terrified.
Oh, it's like
I'm
gonna
just
be.
imagining squelching noises. That's the word.
It's gonna
that
be
came to
really.
mind.
I'm going for like super terrifying. Like you're not gonna know. Like it's gonna seem like you're fighting kind of like a god. Arc 2, baby. You gotta get in there.
Arc 2, let's fight God.
Yeah.
Infinity nakedness. Is
It's
back.
we had
Branson's character.
Branson and Jack on an episode. Actually, I've already talked to Branson, Carly, and Tim, all three of them
From Rude Tales of
from
Magic.
Rude Tales of Magic. We've already talked about them coming on and guesting for Oddity Roadshow, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's gonna be so much fucking fun. I cannot wait for them. But yeah, so I'm excited. You know, we got the first little arc done. You got the keys, your van's boom booming. You got some postcards.
We fed the van.
Yeah, you fed the van.
Normal van thing that you have to do. Just put a magic worm into the
Saying yum
compartment.
yum. I'm a van. I'm hungry.
I like
beep.
even like that van does not speak, but Joel has a voice for it.
Not yet. That doesn't speak.
Yeah, you just did.
No,
Oh,
I meant the
okay.
van doesn't speak.
You
yet.
gotta stick to that voice. I'm hungry.
Ooh, I'm really undercutting the tone of the show.
No, and you went too high now.
Oh, no, I'm
You're
sorry.
going
Yeah.
It
Mickey
was like your
Mouse.
normal voice,
What?
just like a little.
It was just like Joel being
Yum, yum, I'm
excited.
hungry.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm a little van.
This is how Joel talks when he's excited. We'll finish recording
Yeah.
and we want to get food. He's like, yum yum, I'm hungry. And
And
we're like, Joel, that's weird.
Feeding my little belly. I am excited more for Funk and Tomorrow, but I was like, they're gonna like that's gonna be the reoccurring like FBI like kind of point person. But they Harper and Chase, who sent those in, like they pitched them to they are friends in real life, so that's where they're saying like they did that. And so as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, y'all just gave me like a cute little like cop buddy comedy of like, okay, great. So it's like FBI agent, non-FBI agent. They said in the descriptions like they admire each other and are fans, but there's not necessarily like a romantic link. I was like, all right, so they got the will they, won't they? Like they're not a couple. Or it's just like, yeah, and like you'd watch them every week. I did Allison's face. I was mainly watching of like. Because you kept trying to get me to say X-Files, and I kept just, like, doing that. But it's just, like, the opposite of lies or somewhere. It's just, yeah, because it is just, I'm pretty sure I tweeted being like, oh, I'm going to put in, like, I want to put in, like, some, like, FBI, like, Mulder and Scully style or shit. And they just, like, they're like, all right, yo, you can do that.
There you go.
So that, I think, they'll be more fun. I think, like I said, we have 4 of the 7 NPCs that people... So we've already got them in the show. Tiberius Sugarfoot is not like hive mind like, but there is a Tiberius Sugarfoot at all of them. But they'll be a little different, but still very weird.
We all have a little Tiberius Sugarfoot inside our hearts.
I like the tweet about the knife alien. I think that would make a funny.
The what one?
The knife alien. There's stabbings, and Scully's like, "What do you think it could be?" Mulder throws a file on the desk. You ever heard of the knife alien? That's like one of my favorites. It's something like that. One of my favorite tweets ever.
Oh, that's great.
That's just really funny. It's just the idea of an alien just like stabs people.
Mm-hmm.
So alien is a knife.
Alien is a knife.
No, it's an alien who has a knife. It's just it might not even be from their alien world. It could just be an Earth knife that they're like.
I like both,
like
but
this.
my mental image was always just like a typical gray alien. Just, and that's Mulder's. Like it's the tweet is so funny because it's like it's a stupid idea he has that's ridiculous, and so she'd fight him on it, but he'd probably eventually be right anyway because the structure of the show.
Yeah, I was imagining there. I think in Guilty Gear or something, there's a character who has a sword that they like can throw it and it animates and stabs people.
Nice. One Piece has a fucking sword that's an elephant.
That's a good. I like. Yeah.
Turns into an elephant. It's a sword that ate the elephant fruit.
Okay, yeah. So I mean,
Stuff
knife,
like that.
knife aliens.
Classic,
Mulder was
classic.
right. Mulder was right.
Yeah. No, like I said, it was fun, and
I think about all the unsolved stabbings that happen every year.
The
Government
knife alien.
The old knife. I am very excited to be able to move on and record. I like it. We've talked about this. So we know the show's released in November. We recorded these like the end of September. I'm just very happy we have the entire first arc recorded. We're still, by this time y'all have heard them. We're still waiting on Ron's finalized song and Marlon's final song. But I'm very close. I'll spend just so you know, like, but it is nice. We're going to be like at least 3 months ahead. We're going to record more before the release. So what was the names that we said possibly?
Friend of the Road. I remember.
Friend of the Trail.
Or Friend of the Trail, yeah.
I like that one.
I like Friend of the Trail. I think I like it too because it sets up.
Paul said something about pickles, right?
No pickles.
No
No pickles. I agree.
No
I think it was
pickles.
Shannon who said
That's
no
why.
pickles, but I agreed with it strongly because I like anything that's contextually some other sentence.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a strong support.
Strong. Yeah, I like Friend of the Trail.
Friend of the pickles. No.
Friend of the Trail. Athleisure Monk is the one who tweeted about the knife alien. Shout out.
Oh yeah.
I like Friend of the Trail. I like that Friend of the Trail is like the vibe is like, are you a friend of Dorothy kind of thing?
100%. That's what
Yeah.
this is. That's what
Yeah,
this is.
the Friend of the
100%.
Trail, but it's like also supernatural stuff. I just like that. I think
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
cute.
what this was based off of, like Friend of the Trail, Friend of Dorothy. Like it's oh surprise, all most monster stores are allegory for queer stories because they couldn't have told them before. I don't know why I'm interested. Well, I don't know why we're also into horror stuff here.
Because of the other.
Weird.
Yeah,
Weird.
so weird. Oh, this is okay. I see the tweet now. Sorry.
The Loch Ness monster represents our collective queer desire to just lay in a giant freshwater body.
Very true, honestly.
Sort of splash around.
Yeah, so but great. Yes, so I'm excited. Y'all have any more questions?
No.
Oh, we did talk about this off mic after the last post show. I think I've said this on post show before, but even though Cobb wasn't in this one, also I know you're calling Cobb, and I was gonna like she'll talk to him later. I just don't want to. I don't want to overuse Cobb like we talked about. But Cobb, the weird pronunciations is very heavily based off of Matt Berry from What We Do in the Shadows, because I was like listening to an interview about him and how he just randomly like. All of the weird pronunciation he does in the show is just him riffing and doing weird shit. And that was one of the things I was like, that's a good characteristic of just like, it's the choosing to speak like a fucking weirdo it sounded very Cobb like to me.
I like that Cobb didn't answer because I feel like his persona, he would be unattainable when you actually need
Yeah,
him.
and then he'll call me and be like, you called.
Yeah.
Like, because you called me today.
You got all
Fucking
Cobb.
You could have had a worm, man.
Yeah.
You missed your chance.
I will say the way I get into the Cobb voice and remember it is I say Marlin, like my mouth is full and I'm Marlin.
I like that he seems like a True Detective season 1 character, but as a skunk game, that's what I'm thinking. The vibe. I
Yeah, very.
a guy on a boat doing.
Very, very like musty. For some reason, it's always humid around him. Like it's like there's like this like that when we because I like the idea of when you're on the phone because we did this a lot in the first episode where it's like cutting in between and like every time you cut back to him, he's somehow in a different room doing a different thing. But like I like the
You see
idea.
sparks and like.
There's like this kind of like warm filter we use when we see like his angles that's like different.
Humid.
Yeah, it's like different than the actual like coloring of that. Like there's like a distinct.
It's like sepia tones.
Yeah, it's very weird. He has a lot of like Dr. Monroe like weird island vibes to me. Isn't that what it is?
Dr. Moreau.
The Isle of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Dr. Marvin Monroe is the guy one from The Simpsons.
Okay, not the.
Is there also Most Dangerous Game vibes or is that not?
No, it's just kind of
Just like weird animal experiments.
More so, I never read the book, but more so of how Marlon Brando really phoned that performance in.
Oh, he quit acting part of the way through, and they used a body double.
Yeah. And there's all the stories about him like having an earpiece. But yeah, like that kind of not how he's like that, but like that kind of just like weird vibes of just like you're just on a weird island with a bunch of monster creatures that you call your kids, and he's like, wow.
Marlin.
But that's where a lot of like also I no apologies for the mouth noises I'm doing. It's so weird and
You
gross.
should apologize for Tiberius's personality.
He's just
Listeners know that everyone grimaced when Joel said, "I won't apologize for my mouth noises."
yeah. I don't think I'll apologize for anything that I'm thinking about it though. So
No, we've met you. We got that.
blanket statement. I feel pretty good about my choices.
We've been meaning to talk to you about that. I think it's wrong.
Joel, the reason we're here today
So we've gathered hundreds of listeners here to...
is because we care about you a lot.
There's too many mouth noises. Like good
Each
for
one
you.
of us
Like
Which one do you want? You want mouth noises or Tiberius Sugarfoot energy?
Which one do I want to go away?
You sure? However you want to word it.
I feel like whichever one I say, you're just gonna double down on, so I'm not gonna answer.
No, give me an answer.
No, I'm not gonna
No, I got
answer.
a different answer for you.
No.
There's a door. Open it. See what's behind it.
No, because in front of one door is Joel, and the other door also has Joel in front of it, and both of them are fucking liars that do
The
shitty
door.
voices.
You're gonna open the door, and I was just gonna say both are still here. That's
I
all.
figured
I
it
wasn't
might.
gonna. Nothing was gonna change. But that also means nothing gets better. So
Deal or no deal. Your choices are the exact same thing that's been happening, or the exact same thing that's been happening.
I want the door. I want behind the door.
Yeah, they're both the same.
We were talking to my
the
friend
box.
who's working on the Marlon theme, and you said Marlon was the Sanji of this show just to bait me. And I was like, fuck, shut up. No. And you were like, I knew you would be upset.
Yeah.
And then you posted like a bait emoji. And I was like, fine.
Fuck Sanji.
Fuck Sanji.
If you're listening, Sanji's your favorite character. I respect you less. I don't hate you. I just like. Also, Brooke stands. So Anyways,
We already got a Frankie reference on the show. Let's see how many.
yeah, we got a good little Frankie reference. But yeah, so I'm excited. It was like a good weird ass first arc, and it's just a lust. It's all about love, y'all. That's
All
what
about
this show-
fucking worms.
Not just about fuck. They had a sexual
Making
and
love
a
with worms.
spiritual relationship. It wasn't just. I will say, they took care of each other very well, if you know what I mean.
No, why would you say that? Stop saying
Wait,
I'm
that.
just saying,
what do you mean?
Just like physically, they both were there in support of each other. Mentally, they were there spiritually, but sexually, ooh boy, they knew what was up.
Well, she shouldn't have tried to take over the whole town. He shouldn't have done that for her.
I
as a
will
gift.
say, it wasn't. She didn't necessarily tell him to do that, but there was like.
It's on him then.
He wanted to do it for her. She mainly just wanted to stop being used, and he was like, "No, you need bigger and better things."
It's his fault.
And they really uplifted each other. Like they felt good. Like also, he wouldn't have had the support to kill his father without her. Like it's
That's his fault.
You
she's
say this
dead.
like it's a good thing he did that.
Yeah. His father was way worse of a person. Like as much bad as the third did, his dad did all those. As many people died by his dad's neglect of business and poor practices than within just this like small thing. Because I'll say mostly he was kind of on autopilot for running the business because he was mainly focused on building up all the R&D and learning how to do this.
So as many people died under his watch as with the worm invasion?
Both of them were bad. It's a whole. Here's the thing. It's like a whole family of rich people are bad, and that's the lesson.
Right. That's just always true. That's, yeah.
Do you have any more sexually based questions about the worm,
No.
Absolutely not.
Paul?
Does the worm wear a condom?
Ah! Joel's thinking.
I think they've done some condom play.
No. Worst possible answer.
I had a feeling you'd find it. It's wild, right? Like,
I was searching in there. I was going through the muck and the dirt, and I was like, "Ooh, what's this? What's this? Worst little."
I like how in Critical Bits we avoided most sexual stuff in the show, and then this one it's just like
Joel's like, Arc 1, fucking worms.
fucking weird.
Yeah. I mean,
It's in the
this is
post-show,
for the post show. Like, this is like welcome.
The
like
18
USA
plus.
After Dark.
Yeah, welcome to this.
It's implied in the show.
It's implied.
Oh, it's heavily implied.
It's heavily implied. We also talked about this
Too
off
heavily.
mic. I'm happy that out of the three of you, the one that has like the most attractive character is Paul, who I feel way more comfortable with, like riffing on, talking about how NPCs want to fuck him.
Yeah.
I'll do weird stuff like that eventually for y'all, but it's way
You
easy.
can just make fun of how pathetic Marlon is.
Yeah,
it's like the opposite.
but it is a very fun vibe to just to make people. It's just fun. It is fun to make people. This is very much like taken from Rude Tales, and I love it. I love how Branson, the sexualization that Branson does in Rude Tales of characters is so fucking bizarre and beyond, where it just becomes a point where like their over sexualization becomes normalized. Because that's this like great example of like the polyamorous ship captain from like later in the show, where everything he says, he's like, "I'm the polyamorous ship captain who blah blah," and he just always talks about. It's just a very funny joke. It's not like shitting on poly people. It's just like, yeah. So I kind of was taking that where all the sexualization of NPCs is just like to the worst limit. Like it's just so horny. You're like, okay, you gotta just fucking. I don't care that you're into this. Just please stop talking about it. It's like somebody that only has one show they like. So. But yeah, anyways, it's very fun.
Jamie's never been hit on, so if that ever happens, it's going to get...
Good to know.
Would Jamie recognize it?
That's what I was about to say.
No.
That's very funny to
Marlon
know.
is the only one who recognizes when you're both being hit on and he's not, and he's jealous.
That's very funny to
And
know.
the difference is Ron gets hit on all the time, and Jamie probably maybe has actually just never been
Jamie's
hit on.
definitely been like fur with their hit on, but probably you have
Completely unaware.
No clue.
Yeah.
Like,
unfortunately, as a member of the group, every woman, sorry, that's our
Yeah.
fault.
bam.
I think it'll be interesting to see what type of fan art we get.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Being a little bit more open to that sort of stuff. We were like, don't fucking do that with Critical Bits.
Yeah.
We were just talking about worm condoms like 5 minutes ago. And,
I just
then
meant
you're
like
I know you're talking
fan
about
fan art of Ron, not worm fucking.
I know, but it was so close in timing.
What if y'all do like? I don't necessarily want to see fucking fan art of Wesley the Third and the Queen Worm, but I do want to see them.
I actually want to emphasize we absolutely do not want to see that.
I mean, if you make
them
it
holding hands,
if you make it like, NSFW tag it on Twitter, so like not everyone see. But I would look at it probably.
Block me.
Only
before you
Joel
do
would
that.
look
No,
at
don't.
it.
Yeah, don't.
But
But I'm not encouraged. But what I would like to see, maybe like them on like a cute little date, like them having coffee together, them like reading the book, cuddled up. Them like plotting out like some what's it called when you kill your parents, Paul? You know words. Patricide. Yeah, plotting out some patricide. Just all the little fun, cute things they did.
why is it you think I would be the one that would know the names?
you just know words.
I
You know
do, and I do
words.
know the names for killing
You know
various family
Patricide.
members. Regicide is fun. We just did that.
Is
actually.
that yeah.
That's
Oh
a
yeah.
queen.
That's we talked about killing the queen and he did it.
But not in
And
real
it
life.
happened, is how we say that. And then it happened.
We weren't talking about that queen.
Yeah. She's not into sex. That queen is a prude. She got nothing. I'm saying she sucks. Fuck the queen.
but not fuck the queen.
Yeah, just telling her she sucks. Fuck you. Anyway, any more
No.
questions? It doesn't have to be sexually based.
No, I hope not, Joel. No, we talked a lot. I enjoy this arc. It was spooky. I like spooky stuff.
Yeah, the next one I'm gonna lean more into like horror, spookiness horror instead of just gross stuff.
I do have one more question. This arc was more set up for Jamie.
Yeah,
Do you have a plan for the next one?
I do.
Between the two of us?
I do.
You're not gonna say.
Ron.
Hey,
Hey, I'm in trouble.
it's around time.
But the next
after that?
tale is based around Marlin.
What tale of what? That's the interlude episode, right?
Yeah. The interlude, the tale of the definitely haunted house.
That one's based on Marlin.
It's connected to.
Well, you're the one that says everything's always haunted. And you're probably going to be right a lot in this one, so that'll
A
pay
lot of my
off.
planning has been like, because I was talking to this, like, so every time you go into a new town, what's happening in the town is like, that's just the random C plot of the arc that will be happening in the background. Main plot being based around each of your 3 stories and stuff with the normal van and the man that will probably never come back again, Zane.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't.
Yeah, definitely didn't get a 6.5 minute long song for him that y'all have heard since the first episode, actually. But so each of that's like the overarching plot of the show. So every time we're going to a new town, at least for this first little bit, since it's like we're opening the show, I am trying to focus on like one of y'all are very equipped to handle this to kind of give you more spotlight. And like I said, I did Jamie initially since Allison's the new cast member that I wanted like Jamie to get a lot more like spotlight and like she can be like because I told Allison before this, I was like the bird's gonna like fully come out and we're gonna see it, and stuff like
But it
that.
wouldn't tell me its name.
You'll figure. You can keep asking.
Did you ask him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, Joel, that's just rude. That's
You
rude.
don't have to listen to Joel anymore.
Yeah.
The fun rule about podcasting with Joel is eventually you just stop listening to him.
Yeah.
As
No,
a
no.
player.
I will say because like I have planned. Like there's reasoning of like the bird. I already know all like the backstory and the hound. I'm very excited for it. But he is like. Not just me. He is 100%. He doesn't really want you to know things for certain reasons. But we'll figure that out.
Maybe the imp can help you.
Well, I want to say thanks for letting me be the person in the first arc, and it was really fun, and I'm having a good time.
You did a really good job.
Except for all
Very
the
funny.
mouth noises.
I love that you named the horse Mom. I thought that was fucking hysterical.
yeah.
Mom.
That's
such a weird
I was
Jamie
excited
thing.
because as we were doing that, I was already doing like the edit in my head of just where it's just gonna be you like it's just gonna like slowly like Mom. And it's like saying like the different names, it just kind of like trails off. I love like horse time in Jamie's head whenever and like that's what's happening and because like in this it's the whole like when you like were talking to the bird thing in your head, it was like kind of happening like as everything else, and like you standing up. So, but it's a fun mechanic, I think, of like how to show whenever you go into this, normal thing.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Blondie was a Palomino, in case listeners wanted to know more.
Ooh.
I think as Jamie develops and becomes maybe less weird, or at least more used to social interaction, I don't know that she'll ever get less weird, but she'll still totally regress in those moments too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And there's way more for everything. Yeah, so anyways, thank y'all for listening to the first arc, The Mystery of the Lost Keys.
We found the keys.
We found the keys. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
They were just on a corpse. It's fine.
Yeah.
Normal place to put your keys.
And then once again, thank y'all for being patrons of Oddity Post Show, or Oddity Roadshow, and then listen to Oddity Post Show. If you have never listened to the show and you're only listening to these,
Oh, that's cool. You're welcome to the thing. You're the one.
congratulations. As always, I've been Joel, and I'd like to give Brendan little sweet kisses.
I'm Shannon. I would like to pat him on the back.
I'm Allison. I'd like to shake his hand and thank him for his contribution to the arts.
I'll simply continue to pay to see his works and not try and interfere with him physically in any way.
I'm trying real hard not to say condom play again.
No!
There you go.